All right, everybody, welcome to my podcast called Tell the World. I hope everybody's having a blessed Friday. I'm trying to get through this Friday. You know how it goes. Okay, so these past 2 days has been kind of crazy. Right now, we're dealing with California fires, and I know all over the world, within the United States, let's put it that way. We hear that California has fires each year. From the 4 years that I've been here now, um, the fires they come around this time, around the September and October. Uh, think of it as your fall season. When your fall season comes in and the leaves are blowing and it's raining and the leaves are changing colors, then you got the winds that eventually softens the leaves and the leaves come apart and they fall. Well, California is a little different because we don't get the rain, but we get the leaves that fall. Not many, but some. But the problem with California fall season is when the winds pick up. The winds pick up becomes California problem. It has not failed where I've watched the news where when the wind picks up, everything goes into fire mode. Um, in some cases, because some of these fires be started by arsons, or could it be something man-made, or is it man-made error? Is it mechanics that's causing the fire? Is it live wires when the winds are blowing causing the fire? Well, in this case here, the alert they got for this year, the past 2 days for Thursday and Friday, they were expecting the wind, strong winds. They were expecting fires, but within Oakland, San Francisco, San Diego, I believe, they had over 500,000 people power turned off, which was Thursday, and I believe that was on the 10th of Thursday of this year. So they started turning the power off on Thursday around 8 p.m. I guess the fires would, I don't know how the fires are started. The fires could be started within nighttime or daytime. It's weird how it happens, but it happens here. Meanwhile, on my end of the town, which was here in the valley, I'm, you know, I'm just hoping that it doesn't, my power doesn't get affected. But, that wasn't the case. So I took a day off, little night on the town. I went to the Laugh Factory, just to laugh. And so I'm leaving the Laugh Factory, and as I'm driving back to the valley part, I see fire somewhere up in the hills. I believe that was somewhere near Balboa. This is where some of the fires had started at. This was probably around 10. And so from that point on, I get home. You can just smell this smoke in the air, and it's just strong. And so the wind is blowing. So the wind is making this smoke travel fast, as well as the wind blowing is making some of the fire, move. Where the fire is going into different areas, which causing other places to spark fires. And, this puts people, homes, and businesses into effect. So I saw two parts of fire in two different areas. So I wake up that morning, I'm assuming like, wow, because I'm smelling smoke in the house. There's no way I could travel today on Friday because the highways are all closed. 118 freeway, the 5 freeway, the 405, the 210, all the highways are shut down because all last night when the wind was blowing, these fires were getting out of hand. 25 homes were affected. There were some other homes affected as well. So I believe their total count will probably be either sometime tonight or maybe tomorrow. We'll see the results. But a lot of homes have been destroyed. The fire moves strangely. It can be 8 houses on the block, and maybe only one house will burn down. And maybe the other houses won't get affected, because that's how the fires happen here. Last month, I was just taking a walk in the neighborhood, and I saw some smoke. And as I kept walking, and I got around the corner, I saw the same smoke, but when I looked, I said, is that someone barbecuing? Wasn't no one barbecuing. It was someone either started the fire or this fire mysteriously happens. So I get around that corner past his home, and there's children running out, and they're yelling that their backyard is on fire. I give them my phone. I tell them to dial 911. I get back there, and I see a mattress in the back by the garage, between the fence and the garage, and it's on fire with a box spring. Right away, I leap into action, trying to get the fire put out. I asked for water, and the young kid said they didn't have water. I said, you don't have water? And right away, I didn't want to, judge it. So right away, I'm looking around, trying to figure out what to do. Next door neighbor has a water hose. He has a fire extinguisher. I get the fire extinguisher. I'm trying to put this fire out. But the more I tried to put the fire out, the more aggressive the fire got. The fire got out of control. I couldn't put it out. And I just couldn't understand why I couldn't put this fire out. I did everything. The more I tried to put the fire out, it seems like the fire got angrier. I had neighbors assisting me to help me put this fire out. The garage caught on fire. The fire was reaching the young kids in them home. And I was trying to prevent that from happening. 25 minutes later, still waiting for the firemen to come. They didn't come. And finally they did come. But by then the garage started gulping up in flames. It was heading towards their home. So thank God they came, because I was just out of what else to do. If the fire gets out of control, you could get killed trying to put out a fire here. So I suggest, if there's a fire and you live in California or anywhere in the world, don't try to put it out. If you can't, get what you need to get and get away, because you're putting your life and other people that you love and care about, life at risk. So my experience with the fire here, I got that first dose of that last month. It was horrible. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't get this fire out. I tried everything. So this morning, waking up, going to my vehicle, and I look, and I'm seeing ashes this morning everywhere. Ashes all over cars. Ashes everywhere from the fire. The sky is just black and gray, blocking the sun. The smoke is just covering the sky. Everything just got out of control. So it got to a point where, the whole area that I live in, which is in the valley, was just looking like a dead ghost man town. People couldn't travel, people couldn't drive. People that were driving were in the inner city, so cars were coming through neighborhoods because they couldn't use the highway no more. Just a lot of just chaotic things going on that just didn't look right. A few businesses in my area was just closed. So in other areas, business were closed too. You know, people can't travel, they can't get to their jobs. So this fire here in California, the fires period, stops a lot of stuff from working. So this year is different because them turning off the power for this year, I guess they figured that power lines were causing fires. Maybe that might have been some of the issues. So they decided to turn off 500,000 people's power at 8 o'clock p.m. at night. So they could get past the 2 day of the winds just to prevent transformers from blowing up and anything electrical from catching on fire, which would probably cost them more money. And, you know, it actually saves customers and the time and the effort, you know, from trying to get all this back on, as well as preventing homes from being destroyed as well. So I guess it is a good thing. You just have to just get through them 2 nights just to be safe. But it's just awful. It's like my fall season is not fall anymore. My fall season here in California, moving here, is a fire season. That's what it is. It's a fire season. And it can get bad, it can get out of control. Your possessions, your cars, all your values means nothing to a fire. Your life is more important. So you have to, you know, take that and get yourself into a safe place. And you may have to leave everything behind because the fire gives you no choice. A lot of people pass away running back into the house because the fire here in California can get so crazy and burnt out of control. It's nothing you can do. It's just nothing you can do. If the firemen don't get there in time, you need to have yourself evacuated from that area quickly. My home this morning was getting, we were getting notices that we may have to evacuate our area. It was just reaching the areas, just so fast, just moving fast. It just became real bad. And, you know, people are trying to look for places to go. It just catches you off guard. Something you don't expect. You just don't expect it. So, whatever you want to call it, global warming, whatever, natural disasters, I just don't know what to call it anymore. Because my own experience, and from what I saw, a mattress on fire. And I'm trying to get the mattress put out. I'm getting neighbors to help me throw water. I'm using a fire extinguisher. And this fire just was not going out. I put my all into trying to put it out. But my all became my life. And that's something I can't put at risk. So we just have to make that one choice. There's no other choice besides death when it comes to fire. So all day today they've been dropping water. They've been trying to mark the fire off where they cut the path of the fire from spreading by dropping water, you know, the vegetations of the soil, the grass, just to keep it moist enough where the fire doesn't keep traveling, as well as the wind can still be a big factor too, because the wind is still blowing and spreading sparks of that fire. Those little embryos, they travel fast once that wind is blowing. And, you know, this is a dry state. You know, sometimes the air gets to the point where it plays a factor. The wind shift, all the smoke in the air plays a big factor of directions of where this fire is going to go. I mean, today has been just hazy all day. I mean, my eyes, you have to Cover your eyes up. If you got glasses on, you're good. If you got shades on, you're good. Because if you're out right now, you got all of these ashes blowing into your eyes. You're breathing smoke. That's not good for you. I mean, the air is being affected. Just everything is just being hazardous to your health. So, how do you prepare for this? Here in California, you got to prepare for everything: earthquakes, fires, floods. You just don't know. No, it doesn't rain here much, but sometimes they get crazy weather where they get rain in certain areas. It may be a flood. It may be a mudslide. Anything can happen. You just have to be ready, prepared. Stay alert with your phone because you get plenty of alerts about areas. And thank God for the technology, good or bad. I mean, if you're getting alerts to save your life, it's good. Giving you the heads up. Just reassuring that the safety of yourself and others are kept ahead of schedule to prevent injuries. But to see some of these homes get gulped up into flames so fast, some people think that it can never happen to them. And before you know it, a fire it just spreads so fast here. It just does what it does. And you have to just be prepared. And your safety is first. Just all day been busy, been moving things around, been trying to protect the property. Just a lot of moving stuff, because once they evacuate you and tell you to leave, you have to leave. I mean, if you don't, then that's on you. They can't do anything about it if fires decide to spread in your area. I mean, they're doing their part to stop it, but that's to stop the flames from traveling. But the wind does other things to the fire, make it spread quickly within the sky. It just travels these little embryos across highways in someone's backyard. Before you know it, quickly, it just starts to just get gulped in flames. It's a dry state here, very dry, very dry. You can have dry leaves in your yard, and maybe you decided not to rake them that week. And when they have these fire seasons that they look at, those little leaves can just catch on fire so fast. These trees are dry. They catch up so fast on fire. Your home is next to these trees. It just doesn't take long. It just doesn't take long. But it's been a big experience for me because I'm aware of surviving, but also my survival ways of trying to survive can only last for so long. You only use that to get you out the situation. But if you stand in a situation, Mother Nature gonna win. Gonna win. Unless you're lucky to come out of it alive. So we just have to just be more aware of the changes within our weather. Our seasons are not the same. Everything's not the same anymore. I didn't want to use a podcast for discussing fires, but just for some of the listeners who don't know why fires get started here so much, there's a lot of reasons. Right now, I can only tell you that wires, power lines, could be a factor. They have the metro trains that's ran on electricity too, so those wires can be a factor, a spark. So to see the city itself suggest on turning your power off temporarily to wait it out with the winds is probably our best interest. Other than that, if we have people who are committing these fires, that's terrible. It's awful. Because these fires can just travel all down the coast of California so quickly. In a matter of 2 days, hundreds, thousands of homes can just be on fire. This is every year. So we have to work together to try to, prevent things and be aware of, our surroundings and be more visual of things that we may see that could be suspicious. Other than that, Mother Nature comes in. It's just, you just never know. So we hope for the best. Food and water, you got to be on top of that because everybody's been scrambling for all the water. People been getting food, so everything picks up because this is going to be a crazy weekend as well because the winds will be picking back up in the downtown part of LA too as well. So hopefully they could get some of the fires, handled where they don't go back towards the other way and spread. But furthermore, for the valley part, tonight the wind's supposed to die down. Right now it's still blowing out there. I believe 8 o'clock, maybe 9 will be the latest that the winds may slack up. But this is just how it goes. So we just have to be better prepared. So I'm learning that different states have different, weather alerts, different situations, different things happen different there. We don't get blizzards. We don't get much rain. We get fires. California get earthquakes, okay? Occasionally some floods, some sinkholes. So we just have to just think safety and make sure our vehicles are filled with gas and maybe have cash on you because things you just never know to think about preparing yourself for. But all lessons, any situation, you just learn from it and you just prepare next time from it so you don't have to go back through it again. My clothes smell like smoke because it's just been a smoky day. Because this air right now is bad. Like I'm literally breathing smoke. That's what I'm breathing. And that's not good for my health as well. Nobody's health. So we just wait it out until these few days go by. Hopefully next week this air clears out. Hopefully next week these fires will be done with. Some places may get rain, some places may not. But prayers for everybody and for some of the loss that we've gotten today. I believe we have 2 people that could be dead out of these fires, male and female, or maybe just female, I was reading. So just pray for some of these people that, lost their lives, as well as the ones that lost their homes. We all don't want to lose nothing, so seeing someone lose anything is just as hard to see that too. So we got to be kind to the humankind because, we don't wish this on nobody. Because we want to live in a world where we could find some kind of way to help and uplift each other and see each other through some of this. That's going to conclude my podcast called Tell the World. You guys have a blessed evening. Good night.